When the Congressional Budget Office released their report on the American Health Care Act last week, the headlines blared, "Republican Obamacare replacement bill will cause 23 million Americans to lose coverage." Now, sounds dramatic and certainly convenient for the liberal cause, but is that actually true? Here are just the facts. The implication of the major media headlines is that there are 23 million current Americans who have health insurance coverage now who will not have it anymore. After all, that's what the word lose means, right? But that's not even what the report says. It says there will be 23 million additional uninsured Americans by 2026 as compared with how many there would have been under the oh-so-highly touted Obamacare. Of course, according to the United States Census Bureau, the U.S. population is already expected to increase by between 20 to 25 million by the year 2026. So the actual total number of insured Americans will remain almost exactly the same. Now, the report doesn't say or imply that anywhere near 23 million people will actually lose coverage they currently have. This is just complete and total manipulation of the numbers and scaremongering from the liberal mainstream media. Shocking, I know. But what about the rise of the uninsured Americans reported? Where does that stat come from? According to page 17 of the report, a huge portion of that figure, around 9 million, will come from people who will simply choose not to purchase insurance since the law will no longer require them to do so. Now, I know expecting the left to use simple logic may not be a fair expectation, but that's not losing insurance. That's just choosing not to purchase it. Newsflash, not everyone wants to buy full health insurance. If someone is young and in their 20s and healthy, it may not make sense to pay hundreds of dollars for a major medical policy that they'll almost never use. Plenty of young, healthy people would actually prefer to just buy lower cost, high deductible catastrophic plans that protect them from things like cancer or an accident. Now, the CBO report acknowledges that the tax credits created by the AHCA will encourage some people to purchase these plans, but they don't count as health insurance under the CBO estimates. So these people count under the uninsured figure, even though they will be insured exactly as much as they wish to be. Gotta love the bureaucracy. So what about the rest? Well, the CBO claims that 14 million fewer people will be on Medicaid as a result of the AHCA, but the report doesn't even say that 14 million people will lose Medicaid. The report says 14 million fewer people will be on Medicaid than would have been under Obamacare. See, the report assumes that states will continue to expand Medicaid programs in the future under Obamacare. So the 14 million number refers to the number who won't enroll in future Medicaid expansions. The number of people who will actually lose current Medicaid coverage is much, much smaller. Now, there's also the fact that Medicaid barely counts as health insurance to begin with. Studies have shown that patients' health outcomes with Medicaid might not even be better than being completely uninsured, and that it is much, much worse than having any private insurance, including a catastrophic plan, which, again, doesn't count as having health insurance at all under the CBO estimate. Now, in conclusion, the claim that 23 million Americans will lose health insurance under the AHCA is deceptive and dishonest. Almost half that figure represents people who will choose not to purchase a major medical policy because, again, the law no longer requires them to do so, and will instead make a free choice to purchase a catastrophic-only plan. The rest is due mostly to an estimated slowdown in the growth of Medicaid, not actual cuts to Medicaid programs. Now, that doesn't mean that the AHCA is a good bill or even that it should pass, but the media should at least be honest about what the CBO report really says.